Good afternoon, this is Jay from the CoinCare Group, and today we have a very special tutorial for all small businesses and employers with employees that are looking to apply for the Paycheck Protection Program. If you're a business owner or an independent contractor that does not have employees, we actually have another tutorial for you, so just go to our page and look for that video. It'll be one of the main ones. Let's get right back into this and jump right into it. What is the PPP? Well, the PPP is actually part of the stimulus program, the CARES Act, that was launched in January 2021, giving out about $284 billion in support to small businesses and employers. Basically, it's a forgivable loan that you do not have to pay back as long as you meet one criteria, and that is that you spend at least 60% of it on payroll, on your employees and yourself. So businesses with employees can get up to $10 million on their first draw, and if qualified for a second draw, you can receive up to $2 million on a second loan. Now, what does the process look like? Well, through this video, we're actually going to show you exactly step by step on how to prepare your documents, apply with our SBA approved partner bank called American Lending Center, and then receive the funding and also apply for forgiveness to make sure that this is money that you keep and you don't pay a single dollar back. The government asks for two basic requirements. One, that you've been in business since before February 15th, 2020, and two, that you've filed your 2019 or your 2020 tax return. There is absolutely no credit check, no personal guarantee required, and no effect on your credit score. This is more of a stimulus program than it is a loan program. So just remember that. There is no risk in applying. Even if you do get denied, it does not hurt to apply. Now, we don't have to worry too much about calculating this ourselves. From the documents that we submit, the bank will have access to and they will calculate it on your behalf. This is just for you to know how much you'll be able to receive. So let's get started with the PPP calculation. How much can we get? So the PPP is calculated in two steps. Let's start with the employee side of it. You're going to want to get your Form W-3 tax summary out. Basically, we're going to take the number from box number 1, which is the total annual payroll for all your employees, divide it by 12 months to get the monthly average and multiply that by 2.5 months. So for instance, if you had a $1 million annual payroll, you can receive up to $104,000 in PPP money. There is one special rule we have to be mindful of. The government actually puts a cap on the amount of income you can claim for PPP. So if any of your employees earned more than $100,000, you actually have to bring that down to $100,000 for the total annual payroll calculation. Part 2. Here's where you're going to calculate your personal amount. You'll want to get your Schedule C tax form out from your 2019 or 2020 tax return. We're going to take your gross income, line 7, divide it by 12 months to get your monthly average, and multiply that by 2.5 months. So if you earned $120,000 gross income, you would receive $20,833 in PPP. So here are the required documents. 1, you're going to need photos of your ID, front and back. Make sure they're color photos and it's a state-issued ID. You can use your driver's license. You can also use your passport. 2, we're going to need to verify your identification. Basically, this is just a selfie with your ID and a note. We'll show you exactly how to do that in the next slide. 3rd, you're going to need your Schedule C tax return. It'll be 2019 or 2020, whichever year you earned more income in. 4, a February 2020 bank statement or invoice. Now this is just going to be proof of an active business. 5, if you have employees, you'll be bringing in your Form 940, 941, your W-3s and W-2s. These are all payroll tax summary forms. Number 6, your business identification documents. Now this is a state registration. This could be your DBA, it could be your formation documents, any kind of official business identification document. 7, you will absolutely need a voided check for a business bank account for the bank to deposit the PPP in your bank account. And lastly, you'll need a recent bank statement from the same account as the voided check. This is important because this is also a safety measure and it is verification that you are indeed the owner of that bank account. Okay, so for ID verification, this will actually get you a much faster approval when you put this in. It is necessary now ever since there's been a recent influx of fraudulent applications. American Lending Center as well as the SBA are doing much more rigorous checks. They're looking at your tax history with the IRS. They're looking at your other social security history. So scammers and fraudsters and people who are ineligible will definitely not be passing under the radar any longer because of these checks. So for ID verification, you're basically going to get a piece of paper and you're going to clearly write for ALC verification and the date. It's got to be the day that you submit the application. So just make sure you write that very clearly. And you're going to take this piece of paper and you're going to hold it up with your ID and you're going to take a nice clear selfie. Neutral facial expression. Make sure that the ID and the piece of paper are clearly readable. Make sure that it's that the picture is not blurry, so that your loan officer can clearly see who you are. And with that, you will definitely have a really, really quick, smooth, and easy turnaround. All right, so now that we know that we qualify and we know exactly what documents we need in order to apply, the next half of this video is actually the application. Thousands of businesses have been approved using this step-by-step method. If you need to pause the video, collect your documents, and come back to it, feel free to hit the save button right underneath here. Save it to watch later, or maybe take a screenshot, anything you need to do in order to come right back into it so we can pick up right where we left off. And for those of you who are ready to apply, scroll down, click the link in the description that says alcppp.com, and let's jump right into it. You're going to land on a screen that looks like this. Start by pressing the purple Create an Account button on the top right. We're going to create an account. Now it's important to have an account because here is what you will use to apply and come back to when you want to check the status of your application. Once you've created an account, you'll land on a page that looks like this. There are two important links here. One, of course, is the application link, and two is the loan forgiveness link. So this is important for 8 weeks after you receive your money. You can actually come right back over here and apply for forgiveness. We'll create a video that'll show you step-by-step exactly how to do that and make sure that you receive 100% forgiveness and that money is yours to keep. So now you'll get onto a page like this. Yours will be empty. Mine has a bunch of tutorials on it. And you'll click Start an Application. In this box, you'll put your legal business name. This is what's written on the formation papers on your incorporation document. If you do business under a different name, such as doing business as a DBA, you'll check this box saying, I do business under a different name, and you will enter your DBA. So this next section is very important. You're going to be entering priority code 8821. This actually links your application to our team at American Lending Center, and it also allows us to offer further support and put priority on your application. Have you ever received a first draw PPP loan? In our case, no, we have not. This is our very first time receiving a PPP loan. If you have, and this is your second draw application, you will just press yes. But in our case, no. What is your legal name? Ours is John Doe. All right, so here is where you will choose your company structure. In John's Fish and Chips situation, we're going to choose C Corp just for the sake of this example. This tutorial is for small businesses with employees, so that could be really a sole proprietorship, a C corporation, S Corp, or limited liability company. We do have another tutorial that is for a general partnership because things are a little bit different. So if this is you and you have a partnership, just check out our channel and we will have a full tutorial for partnerships. How many employees did you have as of February 15th, 2020? And so this includes all employees who receive a W-2 on your payroll, including yourself if applicable, if you are self-employed or salaried. This does not include employees or independent contractors that receive a 1099, so you do not claim for your 1099 employees because they can actually claim the PPP for themselves. So in our example, we have 16 employees, so we just write 16 as the number. What is your tax ID number? Now this is your EIN. This is a 9-digit number that you would see on your W-3 form, on your Form 941. Really, it's given to you at the start of your business as an employer. 6-digit NAICS code. So the NAICS code is an industry identifier. Basically, you can find this in box B of your Schedule C. It's at the top right of your Schedule C tax form. If you don't have it handy, what we're going to do in our example today is actually search for it in the NAICS.com website. So in John's Fish and Chips, he is a restaurant, plain and simple. We're going to search this up. He is a family restaurant with limited services. It's a fish and chip shop. So we're going to take this number, 722-513, and we are going to put it into the box here. Is the applicant a franchise listed in the SBA's franchise directory? If it is, and you know who you are, then you would click yes. But in our case, no, we are not a Jimmy John's and we are not a McDonald's. So we are going to go forward. When did you start your business? John Doe started his business on January 1st, 2017. Is the United States the principal place of residence for all employees included in the applicant's payroll calculation? Yes, they have to be. You actually cannot claim the PPP for employees that are foreign to the United States because the US and the government are trying to give stimulus money to small business owners so that they can keep their employees on and off of unemployment. So has the applicant received an SBA EIDL loan between these two dates? If this applies to you, you would hit yes. It really applies to a minority of people. So 99% of people are no. We did not receive an EIDL loan between these two dates. If you did receive an EIDL loan between other dates, you would still hit no. This is very specific between these two dates. Is your business highly seasonal? John's Fish and Chips is not highly seasonal. If you do have a highly seasonal business, you can apply. It does take a lot more time for the bank to process your loan because it is a special and unique case. So you would hit yes. But in our case, no. John's Fish and Chips, people love fish and chips all year round. All right, so let's calculate your average monthly payroll. You're going to want to get your Form W-3 out because we're going to be taking numbers straight from that tax form. So we are going to enter the total salaries, wages, and commissions, tips paid out to employees. In here it says 2019, but you can use your 2020 or 2019. A lot of people use their 2019 because it reflects a more accurate representation of what their business was like before quarantine and lockdown and the pandemic hit. But you can use your 2020. This number comes from box 1 from your Form W-3. So let's say we paid out about $500,000 in salaries and wages, commissions and tips that were reported on our W-3. And then the next box is actually about the total state and income tax that was paid in 2019 or 2020, whichever, these must match. This is coming from the same Form W-3. Using box 17 to get your state income tax and box 19 to get your local income tax. And once you combine those, this is the number that you'll enter here. So in our example, we paid $45,000 in combined state and local income tax. And continue. In 2019, did you make payments of any of the following? No, we did not pay anything of the sort. If you did, you would hit yes. Do you want to include employer-sponsored healthcare and retirement benefits in your average monthly payroll calculation? So this is asking if you want to claim these expenses, healthcare expenses and retirement benefits, into your PPP. Selecting yes will significantly increase the time it takes to process the application. Since the funds are running out pretty quickly and people are claiming this billions by the day, we are going to click no. Even if we do have these expenses, we are going to click no because this will be a lot easier for the bank to quickly approve and process your application. Okay, so purpose of the loan. In order to qualify for forgiveness, we've got to spend at least 60% of the loan on payroll costs. So of course we're clicking payroll costs. And next, you are allowed to use up to 40% on things like rent, utilities, other covered expenditures such as cost of supplies to keep your business going. things like that. So you are allowed to use up to 40% on other costs, but the government wants you to maintain your employees and use the money for payroll costs, at least 60%. What is your citizenship status? U.S. citizen. You can claim the PPP even if you are not a U.S. citizen, so long as you live in the U.S. and have a business in the U.S. What is your social security number? This is going to be used to verify your identity. There is absolutely no credit check or credit pull, and it will not affect your credit score. So I'm going to zoom past this next section here, and this is something that you really don't need my help with. So if you get an invalid phone number error here, you can ignore this. This is just a glitch in the system. We're going to hit continue. So this is where you'll put the percentage of the business that you own. We own 100% of our business. If you do have other partners that have at least 20% of the company, you will list them here. There's a little glitch with the date of birth. For whatever reason, it doesn't go past 2011, and most of our partners are much older than our kids. So 2011 clearly doesn't work. But what you can do here is actually select their birth date. So let's say my partner Jane Doe was born January 1st, and you can actually correct this. She was born in 1980. So 1980 on the 1st of January for Jane Doe. You would enter her social, her address, city, state, citizenship, percentage of ownership, and lastly, you'll enter her ID number from the ID that you will have to upload later on in the application if you do have partners. Again, this is only if you do have partners. I just quickly skipped over that, but I want to make sure that anyone who does have partners fills in the date of birth correctly. If you are a general partnership and you have several partners, I have a different tutorial that covers this in much more depth. So please check that out and make sure you follow the instructions exactly. But in our case, we own 100% and we are going to delete Jane Doe from existence and continue. Okay, so for this next section, I'm going to fly through this pretty quickly. These are very personal questions. They are regarding your things like bankruptcy and if you have a criminal record or anything like that. Each person has a different situation with this. In our case, of course, we are not in bankruptcy proceedings. We're not part of a larger corporate group. Please make sure you answer all of this. Honestly, this is going to the government, so they will know if you are dishonest and they'll just discard your application. Okay, so on this page, you as an authorized representative of the business certify in good faith to all of the below by checking each box. Now this is kind of like the terms and agreements of the loan. These are just standard things such as, yes, I was in operation before February 15th, 2020, and I did have employees. I did report that income, things like that. Like you are just in good faith certifying that you are being honest and you are submitting legitimate information for this application. So we're going to go through this quickly. We are going to be checking every single box, but yeah, please take your time with this. There is no rush. I am going through this quickly so we can make this video a little bit shorter. All right, so on this next page and on this last leg of the application, we are going to be uploading documents. These are all of the documents that we spoke about earlier in this video. So on this first page, we are going to upload a government issued ID. This could be your driver's license. Make sure that it's a colored photo and you upload both the front and back. And in our example, we're actually going to do exactly that. You would click choose file, you'd upload the file, and it'll be called front ID. And to add the back ID, we're going to click add. We're going to choose a file and say this is the back ID. Here is the back page of it. Make sure it's clear, make sure that they can see it. If you made a mistake and you uploaded the wrong thing, for instance, I uploaded the wrong document here, I would click remove. And then you can choose the file again and put it up. Okay, so now that you've uploaded your ID, we are here now at the ID verification section. This is where you're going to upload that ID selfie that you took with the piece of paper that says for ALC verification and in the date. So just upload that right here. On this next page, we're going to be uploading a 2020 invoice or bank statement to show that we were operating in February 15th, 2020, or sometime around February. It doesn't have to be exactly the 15th, obviously. Your bank statement will cover more than, one day, but this is where you'll upload it. If this is your second PPP loan, this is where you're going to upload a document that shows a reduction of at least 25% in revenue between 2 quarters. So this could be 6 bank statements, 3 bank statements from 2019 and 3 bank statements from 2020 that show that you had a significant drop in income. If you don't have a 2019-2020 comparison, American Lending Center actually does accept a 2-quarter comparison from the same year. If you have 2 quarters in 2020 that clearly show a drop in revenue of 20% or 25%, then you would upload that here as well. This next page is for any additional documentation. This is if you want to upload a letter explaining your company or your situation. This is if you were a partnership. This is where you would upload your 1065 Schedule K1 because that is a little bit different from the standard Schedule C that the application asks for previously. This is where you would upload some specific other payroll documentation, such as if you were trying to claim your retirement benefits and medical benefits that were paid out to employees, you would upload all additional documents here. And if you forget about something, you can always come back to or go forward to this application or to this page to upload this additional documentation. You can actually go back to this whole page after you exit the application after submitting. So it's all fine. I mean, we do want to make sure we have everything complete up front because that makes your life, our life, and the bank's life much easier and much quicker in terms of the application process. So go ahead and upload whatever you want here. We have nothing to upload here because it doesn't apply to us. On the next page, business identity verification. On this page, you're going to upload anything that's like your business license, your registration with the state, your formation documents, your incorporation documents. For us, we would upload our certificate of incorporation, but you can upload any kind of business license or something that shows that your business is legitimate. It shows a business address. It would be great if it showed a tax ID. It does not have to show a business phone number. So these are not hard and fast rules. These are suggestions. Normally, any kind of organizational document is great. If you do have a lease or rental agreement, you can include that instead of it, but a business license is perfect. Organizational documents are perfect. This next page is where you would upload your 2019 or 2020 W-2 forms, whichever year you're claiming for, and make sure we're consistent here. If you uploaded 2019 or 2020 numbers previously, you want to use those same documents here. Upload each individual W-2, or if you have a compiled document with all of them in it, that would be great. You can upload them all at once. But say if we had them separate, there's my first file. I would click choose file again, and I would upload my second file. If you make a mistake and you need to delete this, you would just check the box and remove selected. Say we filled in all 15, 16 of our employees. We'll hit continue. Here you'll upload your 2019 or 2020 W-3 form, the same year that you've used previously. This is your payroll summary form, and this is very important to have. The bank won't fund you if they don't have this document, if you do have employees. So this is where you upload it, and once it's uploaded, just click continue. Next, it's the IRS 940 form. This is where you can upload your IRS Form 941, again, your quarterly payroll summary. You can upload all 4 quarters from the year that you're using, and that is all you need to do here. You don't absolutely need to upload a 941. If you do not have one, I believe just having the W-3 will be sufficient. Where would you like your funds to be deposited? So we're just going to fill in here that Wells Fargo Bank is what John's Fish and Chips works with. Now, it's very important that the name on the account here matches the name that you are applying with on this application, and make sure that the PPP is being sent to a business bank account if you are a business. Sometimes banks such as Chime or other online digital banks will kick back the funds because the names on the account do not match the name that the PPP application was put in. So make sure on the first page of the PPP application, the borrower name is your business name, which also matches the name on your bank account exactly. It is very important so that the deposit will go through smoothly and there will be no issues. So we'll just upload our account number here. I just got a pre-filled in one here. Now, this last section is extremely important. This is banking verification. Now you're going to upload your voided check right here. And you're also going to upload a recent bank statement from the last 3 months, just a single bank statement. It just has to be recent from the last 3 months. And you will upload that and make sure that this bank statement shows an account number, shows your business name, and that it matches the same information that's on the voided check. That's the same information in here. And this just about wraps the whole presentation up. You would just click next here. This is the final page, and it's asking if someone or an organization is helping you fill out this application. You can give us a little shout out here at the CoinCare group, fill that in, and hit submit. Now that you've applied, what's next? The PPP timeline is pretty simple. There are 3 phases. The first phase is now that the bank has your application, they're going to review it. This takes about 3 to 4 business days. They're going to look through all of your documents and they're going to put together a document called a 2483. This is the application that they're going to submit on your behalf to the SBA, to the government. So once this 3 to 4 business days is complete, you're going to receive an email that has a DocuSign in it with your initial loan documents. This will have a summary of what your loan amount is. It'll have a summary of your business's information. And once you complete that, once you sign that document through email, it'll be sent in for SBA review. Now, this is the Small Business Administration. This is the government. They normally take 2 to 3 business days to review. Sometimes they take a little bit longer. It depends on the volume and how busy they are, but usually it gets done within 3 to 4 business days. And once you receive approval from them, the third phase will come in, and this is when you'll receive closing documents from American Lending Center. It'll be a DocuSign just like the first step, and once you sign your loan documents, the closing documents, the funds will be deposited in your business bank account within 8 to 10 days. And this wraps up our video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button for more PPP and stimulus updates. We are following the situation very closely. There may or may not be an extension on this program, so you may be able to receive a second draw or even up to a third draw. These are all just rumors right now, but make sure you hit the subscribe button and we will keep you up to date on the situation. If you have any questions or concerns, drop a comment down in the video and we'll make sure to get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you have a great day and thank you so much for watching. Okay, so if this video was not exactly for you and you are maybe you're a sole proprietor with no employees or you're a partnership, make sure to click one of these videos to get a guide that was tailor-made for your situation. Remember, these have a 100% approval rate if you are eligible. Make sure you follow them exactly.